Want to talk about immigration? Have you ever heard of the St. Patrick's Battalion? During the Mexican and American War, there was a battalion of Irish immigrant soldiers who, the Army's first mistake was segregating the immigrants to one group by themselves because the St. Patrick's Battalion defected to the Mexican side and started fighting for them. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Mostly that they were immigrants. They were from Ireland and they were treated like second-class citizens. I think that religion probably had a lot to do with it because a lot of Irish and Mexican culture involves Roman Catholicism. So it's like that kind of religious tribalism probably played a part in it too. And the fact that they kind of felt like they were just on the wrong side of it. And they were just invading these people's land. And that's not what immigrants do. They come to a new land to work and to prosper and to find a better life. There's a part of my personal family history where the first American in my family was an Irish immigrant who immigrated to America during the Irish potato famine during the Civil War in America. So what they did, I don't know if you ever saw Gangs of New York, but it's like they show this scene where the Irish immigrants get off of one boat, sign up for the army, and then get on another boat to be shipped off to fight in the Civil War. And that's exactly what happened to my family member. And he got court-martialed from the Union Army for punching an officer. And I used to think, maybe he was just drunk, knowing my family. But now I think maybe he was tired of being treated like a second-class citizen. So my family has been in America since the Civil War, basically. And I'm learning more about my mom's biological side because we finally found her family after she was adopted in 1958. And there's a lot of Irish history on that side too. Like I still have cousins in Ireland that I've never met, but I'm definitely going to go there and find my people, the country of my heart. Even though all these generations later, I haven't been to Ireland yet, but it's something that like calls to my soul because my people came from there. So my family's been here for generations and we have been contributing members of society and flourished throughout the generations and helped build America into what it is today. So I am all for immigration. One thing that Kamala said about in her speech at the border was that when people are seeking asylum, if they cross the border illegally, they can't seek asylum. And I don't know. I think there should be a little more leeway with that because, first of all, I'm of the opinion crossing the border illegally should be like jaywalking, like get a ticket for it or something. But if they really commit a crime, then, like put them in jail, send them back to their country and say, don't come back for 5 years. I admit that could be a risk for an immigrant, but it's really, the border is not overrun with criminals. It's people fleeing not only poverty, but gang violence and all sorts of oppression that they're safe from in America. And we should be opening our arms to our immigrant friends, especially when they're in trouble. So I don't know. I think there should be a way to apply for asylum, even if you did cross the border illegally, like, pay a fine or something. And then it'd be like, okay, you can stay here while you're running from the cartel. And that's what I was thinking of. Like, I was trying to think through a situation for a Mexican immigrant who chooses to cross the border illegally, because it does happen a lot. And I was thinking there's got to be some, young mother who's escaping an abusive marriage to a husband who's like in the cartel, and they're all like watching her and stuff. And she has to pay one of those coyotes to get her over the border. And then when she gets there, maybe she gets into a new relationship with a man who's an American and says if she does anything he doesn't like, she'll get deported. And then her job gets raided if Trump gets into the office, and her kids get taken away, screaming from her arms and put in cages. That is exactly the kind of immigration policy that Trump is portraying. He's not giving details on how he's going to do any of the things he's talking about, except for this. He wants to go after any immigrant in the country, whether they're here legally or not. And that is going to decimate a workforce, going to just make an entire population of this country feel uncomfortable in the place where they live and work and pay taxes. Because they do pay taxes. They can't get that money back from the government, though, because they don't have a social security card. Like, people say that immigrants come here because they want to be lazy and live off of social services and stuff like that. Like, they're just not facing reality. And that you go into any business in Los Angeles, if you are not, if you don't meet a Hispanic or Mexican immigrant there, then it's out of the ordinary. Like, this town runs on immigrants, and so do most major cities in the U.S. But even like small towns like Springfield, Ohio, they needed workers. So people in Haiti needed jobs. So they open the doors to them, and their community is actually prospering from it. That's what's so ironic about all that bullshit about eating the pets, is that it's actually totally the opposite of everything they were talking about. So Kamala Harris, she's got to appear to be tough on the border because that's what's going to appeal to people who are on the fence. And I believe she's going to go after the gangsters. She's going to go after the actual criminals, like not the people who are just like trying to live their lives and actually contribute to America, because that's most immigrants. I don't meet a lot of immigrants who aren't here like working and trying to make their lives better. So I believe that she is going to create more pathways for them to gain legal status and citizenship here too, because that's another way to combat illegal immigration, is open up more legal pathways. And then, you can keep track of people if you think that they're going to be the Mexican Hannibal Lecter or something like that, because they keep tabs on you and you're here, from another country. But at least we have that information, and we have to make them not afraid to approach the government and, get their paperwork done. And that's all it is. It's fucking paperwork. He's saying these people are evil for not doing paperwork. And we got to make it easier. We got to give people more opportunities, especially for asylum, maybe be more understanding about an illegal border crossing if somebody's really fleeing violence and possible death. So, that's just the Jesus part of me speaking. He had to flee Bethlehem or be killed. There was definitely some stuff in the Bible about that. So any Trump voter who considers themselves a Christian should crack that book again. Because Kamala Harris, she's not Jesus Christ. But I think she has a better grasp on his philosophy than Donald Trump. I'll see you tomorrow.